Regardless of how my countrymen receive you, the cold will not treat you kindly. Underestimate it at your own peril. The other members of the Ilsabard contingent are gathered in the royal palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you are ready. The remaining members of the Scions, your friends and most of the Ilsabard contingent await you within. Would you like me to see you through? Voice acting, please.
By the 12.
Wow. That's one. Excuse me.
Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As you can imagine, our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of the Ilsabard contingent.
Indeed, which is why I am glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Bam!
Lucia!
I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention.
Stop doing push-ups.
Might I ask you to speak first?
If I must. I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation, here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer. We shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort.
Suppose I'd better say my piece.
Wait, I know you.
The name's Sicard, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten. Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hilfear to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me. Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughingstock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but a promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do.
Aye.
Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy. Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Well, you're certainly raring to go. But then again, so are we. The most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest.
The Lalafell, right?
If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Tarapin and I will be leading from the front.
It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya, the avatar of destruction.
That's why I love her.
With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us. And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest. But until then, let's give it our all.
Yosh!
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead. Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilzabard contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require.
No doubt. None whatsoever.
The four high houses, House Hylinart foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limpsa Lomitsa.
Because they shoot guns.
There is another awaiting introduction.
Lord Emanolain!
Ah, yes. Emanolain de Forton, at your service.
I would have gotten that.
Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that. But, should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light.
Please no. May your graceful prancing lead the way to victory. I dare say your fancy footwork may be all that stands between us and certain doom.
Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Onohua with my tales of daring-do.
I believe that concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea.
Not impressed.
Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Oh.
Would that be the shinobi of Doma?
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various Eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
The samurai contingent.
Out of my way,
the
you
Ronin?
preening fool!
Yes! I don't know who these people are, but I'm here for it.
Forgive us for coming late. We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
For battle and blood we come, as a step is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach.
I like her.
But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked.
No quarter to the enemy!
Shadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Warriors of the Steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
Yes.
And the Bosnian resistance. Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities. Which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamiga. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire. I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald. And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
Sade.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy. But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth.
They're just people.
They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all. Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Cid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Maxima, who stands with us today, tried to reform Garlemald from within and make peace with Joma. So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make this world a better place.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy.
Kill them all!
To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garland Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey. However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us, so it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
For glory! For Sparta! Yeah, they aren't joking like that. That's a thing. It's a lot of people to... Oh, Sadu, I said her name. I'm glad to see you well, Sagenhaft. Grandmother was worried for you. The night I agreed to come hither and join the contingent, the gods sent her a strange dream. 2 suns, one burning red, the other frozen black. Closer they circled, closer and closer, and as they danced, the world fell to ruin. In blinding chaos, she spied blackened silhouettes, and knew at once that one was yours. Yet we knew not how to interpret this dream, save as a sign that great danger awaits. For whatever lies ahead, I will walk with you, traveler. I care not for the Iron Men or their troubles. It is the destiny of the weak to die in ignominy. Even so, I will do as I have agreed. I volunteered to join this band at Serena's request, and if she thinks it's a worthy cause, that is reason enough. Though we hail from different tribes, our bond has grown strong of late. She is much better company on a hunt than any of the steps oafish men could dream to be. She is raring to go, and I think she's a black. Yeah, I think that's exactly what she is. With the Mole champions of the Nadam and the Dorthari having sent so many here, I had thought to defend the steppe in their absence, and I would have done so were it not for my stepbrothers. They urged me to grant our allies the sun's might, that his radiance may deliver them unto victory. Though I must tolerate the presence of this feral Dothral dog, at first among my brothers, I could do no less than accept this challenge. My deeds will become the stuff of legends. Wow, that's racist. With so many people from so many places, I'm rather out of my element. Regardless, I am a seed seer and will endeavor to equip myself accordingly. Greetings, Sagenhaft. The time has come for us Marines to show our valor upon the battlefield. All who see us will know of our name and quake before our might. To victory, come hells or high water. Until the Empire fell, Garleans were the only ones we was allowed to impose tariffs upon at sea. Weren't easy pickings, but I made myself a pretty gill. Since they've been so generous to me and mine, perhaps it's time I returned the favor and gave a little something back. I'm here representing the Marauders Guild, and it's my job to keep the Smiths out of harm's way. Mind you, with them hammers of theirs, they can put up a fair fight themselves. With a bit of luck, this will be over and done with before you know it. Oh, crap. We came as quickly as we could. We would follow your example and devastate the Telophroi with the full extent of our powers. Worry not for your brothers, Usi. We will return soon enough. Often has Father told me of the struggles faced by Alamico in the days of the occupation, and I too have crossed swords with the Empire on many occasions. Though Garlemald has long been our bitter enemy, her grace has elected to bolster the Ilsabar contingent with members of the Immortal Flames. As representatives of the Sultanate, we are one in our commitment to the cause. It seems so long ago we were sailing across the Ruby Sea and charging about the Azim Steppe with Serena and the others. I'd say we're overdue for another adventure. It brings back memories to see so many familiar faces. We've been through so much together, good times and not so good. I expect Garlemald will be mostly the latter, but I'd like to believe we'll look back on these days more fondly in the years to come. But for that to happen, we'll have to make it out of this alive. Don't you die on me, aye? I've led troops into battle many a time, but never a unit with such a diverse range of talents. While I've been briefed on their capabilities, I expect you can provide additional insight into their strengths and weaknesses. I'd appreciate any advice you may have. I cast my lot with the Populares to bridge the divide between Garlemald and her territories, that all may be united in common cause. But we were disparaged as a radical element, dissenters looking to destabilize the Empire from within. Many friends and even my parents perished in unfortunate accidents. I too would surely have met the same fate had I not defected. Nevertheless, I still dream of equality and peace for us all. As the world itself stands on the brink of collapse, I hold out hope that one day that dream will become reality. Well, well, if I'd known what a social gathering this would turn out to be, I'd have dressed for the occasion. Still, this seems the perfect opportunity to mingle with the other guests. Would I be correct in assuming those ladies over yonder are Serena and Sadu of the Steppe? Perhaps I should introduce myself, though I don't much like the look of that fellow with the enormous axe. He should definitely hit on those girls, especially Sadu. Especially Sadu. Well met, Sagenhaft, well met. 'Twould seem that my machinists have been called upon to serve. A turn of events which, according to my prospectometer, could prove to be quite the opportunity. I shall show the world the full extent of machinistry's worth. Or that, and more, you can be sure of, my friend. Let me have a look at you. Touch nervous to enter the battlefield, perhaps? Well, I shall be out there alongside you as a temple knight serving with your fine band. Though I may not look it, I was the Azure Dragoon once upon a time, so you can rest assured I will give all that I have in the coming fight. I certainly won't be shown up by you or Estinian. This is literally some guy, but okay. I've close ties with the Scouts of the Eastern Alliance and the various resistance groups, and they're an absolute joy to work with. Blessed are we to have made countless steadfast allies o'er our journeys in course indeed. We are joined today by many new acquaintances, who in time shall we come to call our comrades, and mayhap friends. I was half expecting to find the man who taught me red magic amongst our number, but he's nowhere to be seen. This is extraordinary. To be in such company, the finest our allies have to offer. With comrades such as these, we are bound to succeed. I'm certain of it. I did not expect to see the other former Azure Dragon here of all places. As he well knows, I'm not one for verbose greetings. We shall instead let our lances do the talking once we are on the battlefield. Then we'll see if the other has been diligent in his training. Shocking. We've been part of joint military operations like this before, and with far greater numbers. But for some reason, this feels very different to our previous experiences. Despite having shared little more than introductions, there is already a palpable sense of camaraderie. Besides the delegates assembled here, the Amalja and several other tribes offered to send troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to their physiology, many would struggle simply to survive in the harsh climate of Islavar. They would also likely prove tempting targets for abduction by the Telophoroi. All things considered, they can better aid the cause by bolstering our defenses in Eorzea, though their eagerness to do more has been noted. We few shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must distribute the warding scales to our comrades. Care to do the honors? We heard it would be cold in Garlemald, so we came prepared. Oh, the talismans. We are to keep these close at all times, yes. I will see that no one misplaces theirs. Ah, and before I forget, I have a message from Hein. In distant lands, in times of strife, together stand, together fight. In darkness shines the light of life. I hope I have done his words justice. Doma, like much of Othard, has been plagued by the towers. Yet while he could not be here, he wished to express his shared conviction. Hein and Yuguri labor without rest to unite the people, and with their aid will we keep the enemy at bay. And we of the Steppe of the Eastern Alliance will repay their efforts by ending this war. Yeah. So these are the famed warding scales. Enough for me and my men, I see. Under normal circumstances, I would not be allowed to travel outside of the 12's way. The Elder Seats here, however, has granted me special permission. She has bid me lend my magic to the people of Garlemald while learning all I can of their ways. In so doing, I will come closer to understanding myself and my place in the world. Or so she says. I say it is past time our allies benefited from the power at a Seat's disposal. Some bemoan that we hide our light under a bushel, and I intend to address that criticism. So guessing they're kind of like the elves. I hear you've got something for us. Ah, them scales everybody's been talking about. Pretty little things, ain't they? Reckon they'll be worth a gill or two when this is all over. But we'll hold on to them for now. And one more thing. I know what you're all thinking. Why didn't they send Ironsar instead? Buggered if I know. All the Admiral and Captain Hilfer told me as they needed someone to help safeguard the future. And here I am. Can't say they'd have gotten a sense of humor. Of course, some of you might be wondering what good a pirate is on dry land, in the middle of the sodden snow of all places. Well, me and my crew will do whatever needs doing, so let us set sail. Or however the saying goes on airships. That a set of warding scales I spy. Not that I would know what they'd look like. Wow, look at these. Even a layman like me can tell they're bursting with aether. All the better to fend off the tempered winds. Is that the right term? Anyway, these will give us one less thing to worry about, which just leaves the other mountain of whatever else is waiting for us in Garlemald. Only one way to find out, eh? And nervous or not, I'd march through all 7 hells if it gave me a chance to put Xenos back in the grave where he belongs. Damn. Warding scales for the Ishgardian delegation, I take it. Many thanks. These talismans may prove to be the deciding factor in the battles to come. I find myself conflicted by this foray into Garlemald. Sent by the Empire to infiltrate Ishgard, only to throw in my lot with those whose secrets I was supposed to be stealing. And now I lead a mission to save the countrymen I betrayed. But that is doubtless why I was chosen by Lord Aemeric. He would have me put my extensive knowledge and former ties to good use. I will not disappoint him. For the future of Ishgard, Garlemald, and the world at large, I will lead us to victory. Do you have a warding scale for me too? Thank you for this, and for going to such incredible lengths for the sake of my people. Though I have little to offer in return, I would impart some advice if I may. You have been told by many to wear the code of Isselbard, and I cannot stress enough that this is no token warning. I'll be distributing specially made warming tinctures, courtesy of the Alchemist Guild, but understand that they are no substitute for proper protection. I leave the provisioning of said protection to your discretion. Now let us proceed to the Alamegan quarter. While you make your final preparations, I will have the pilots ready the airships. Since my revival, I've been lax in expending my limited wardrobe. Think we have time for a quick trip back to Old Charlayan. I recall a rather fetching coat. Preparations. I've got my armor and my lance. What more could I need? It's something of a constant refrain that we require warmer clothing. My present garb may be lacking, fur collar notwithstanding. Concoctions to fortify the flesh against wind and cold are commonly sold in the Old Town markets, though they are of dubious provenance and efficacy. 'Tis said, however, that in recent days the Alchemist Guild hath produced a tincture capable of such a feat. Mayhap the achievements of their Thavnarian counterparts did spur them to action, that they not be put to shame. This coat is quite warm, but I have something rather thicker for occasions like these. There's no telling how long we'll be out in the open, and we can't go starting fires willy-nilly if we want to avoid detection. If you've anything you still need to take care of, you'd better see to it now. You wouldn't worry about Oriander and I, we still have what we wore in Garlemald before. Estunian claims to be quite warm and toasty beneath his armor, and since he spent a fair bit of time up north recently as well, I have no reason to doubt his words. Most of the others will be borrowing Grand Company stock. The rest of you could do likewise, I suppose, provided you're not overly concerned with style. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I wouldn't be seen dead in one of those ridiculous overcoats, if only I had time to find something to my liking. Hark! Is that the cry of scions in need of a tailor, I hear? Is it who I think it is? No, it is not. But how? Mwahaha, I have my ways. Oh yes, indeed. You thought you could sneak off to Ilsabard without telling me? Ha! Nothing escapes my notice. Ta-ta. Now you will wear these garments I've made for you, whether you like it or not. You never cease to amaze. But why do you need a new outfit as well? Wait, are you coming with us? What? No, of course not, silly. It's all in the name of fashion. Rather, the pursuit of the highest quality fashion. Besides, how can I expect others to wear my creations if I've never worn them myself? Ah, I did have one other thing to share. Argamus and Lomwida have finally returned from assignments in faraway lands. They'll be staying at the Rising Stones for a while to keep an eye on events throughout Eorzea. Since they'll be running things back at headquarters, I was wondering if I could lend a hand in Charlayan? Oh, why not? You can keep Cryle company in the Valdesian Annex. Yes, we'd love to have you there. And I heard Argamus and Lumida did a fine job carrying on in our stead while we were lying comatose. With them in charge of the Rising Stones, we've nothing to worry about. My thoughts exactly. Also, while I'm confident you won't go collapsing again, because a certain someone who shall remain nameless isn't in a position to transport your souls from another world, if anything similarly disastrous were to happen, I'll be well positioned to do something about it. Anyway, got a few things to take care of, and then I'll make my way to Charlayan. I really do hope these new clothes are enough to keep you warm in Garlemald. It's not much, but it's the only thing I can do for you, other than pray for your safe return, which I will, every day. Let's not keep the contingent waiting any longer. I like how this game also integrates the fashion aspect of Final Fantasy XIV. It's like everybody wants to look good when they save the world, and they get it. Here are your winter woolies, handcrafted by yours truly.